speak some truths, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got health care, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? But, you know, because Putin might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at a church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
Wow, 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 wow. For those of you who don't know, that is former U.S. President Barack Obama, who held the office of U.S. President from 2008 to 2016. He was in Pennsylvania recently, stumping for Democratic nominee of 2024 for U.S. President Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris has been regarded as, in many ways, as Barack Obama 2.0. Yeah, uh, where do I start? Barack starts this talking about he's out stumping because he heard or he sees that there's not the same support or energy for current Democratic nominee Kamala Harris that he had back in the day. And what Barack is missing is that he is a more eloquent speaker than Kamala is. And he had a set policy, a plan. He had definitely a plan, even though a lot of his things that he put forth in when he was running or when he was U.S. president didn't come to fruition. He had a set policy and a plan that you could believe in. It was a strong plan, which Kamala seems to be lacking. He didn't bring that part up. But then he made a little shift, started, and he said he wanted to talk to specifically the brothers, meaning us black men, because, about specifically, that's what he wants to address, to us black men. And he said, why wouldn't you, black men, basically, why wouldn't you support someone who grew up with you, who know you, who went to school with you? When he said went to school with you, he's talking about Kamala's attendance to Howard University, historically black college, which other races have attended too, by the way, but we're not going to get into that here. But he said, why wouldn't us as black men support or get strong support behind Kamala? Then he tried to shift again and go into things that, before I get that, he's talking about Kamala knows our struggle. She knows the black struggle. Basically, that's what he's saying. That, she had to work harder to get where she was and do all of these things and face racism and systemic racism. I guess I'm just surmising what he tried to infer, with Kamala. So she knows the black experience, even though there's a question of her actually being black. The only thing we know for sure is that she's Indian. We still a question mark is she's actually black, and from her history, Kamala has not always been black, quote unquote. She's been conveniently black, but that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, he talked in terms of how she won the fight, or she struggled real hard, and right now she's vice president, and she striving for the big post of U.S. president. But yeah, so Kamala, Barack basically is stumping for Kamala, telling us as black men we need to get behind her in full force. And he said some other things. He then tried to shift again after this, because after dibby dabbing into this identity politics, which made me lose some respect for Mr. Obama. Because like I said, I supported him both terms that he ran for president. I did, and but this right here speech made me kind of lose a little respect for him, playing identity politics, almost race. He's definitely playing the race card, kind of, sort of, in this speech here. Really, you as black men should support Kamala Harris because she's, quote unquote, supposedly black. That's basically his main point right here. That's specifically, I want to specifically address the brothers. She grew up with you, she know you, she went to school with you. Though that's trying to identify the whole. That's identity politics. That's trying to play identity politics. That can't be denied here. But anyway, he tried to shift it then a little bit to lessen the blow of identity politics by saying, support a candidate that has a strong, a strong dedication to housing, healthcare, education, entrepreneurship in the neighborhood, and all that. One thing is lacking. I mean, yeah, you're stating these things, but we haven't gotten that from Kamala herself. I mean, where is this coming from? We a strong commitment to these things. We haven't gotten that from Kamala herself. It's good that you would say that, Mr. Obama, but we haven't gotten that from Kamala herself. Kamala herself. I better say her name right, Kamala, before I get roasted in the comments. But anyway, Kamala seems like she's been consumed with playing the identity politics and trying to play up her convenient blackness and coming up with black accents and all this other stuff. So then putting forth any true policies. So yeah, Obama, yeah, that's what Kamala seemed to be consumed with. But no matter here or there. Then he went into other things like Cousin Pookie might be influencing us black men's decision to sit out this upcoming election, or vote, or Cousin Pookie has influenced us to maybe vote for the other side or the other contestant, the Republican candidate, Donald Trump. Well, wow. And then he said something to the effect of, the barbershops or your own family members or the churches may be affecting our decision as far as voting or not supporting Kamala or sitting out this election or whatever. Well, maybe cousin Pookie, maybe he's on to something. Maybe Cousin Pookie is on to something. Maybe cousin Pookie knows that neither one of these candidates are worth our support. Maybe that's it. Maybe the people in the barbershop know that neither one of these candidates are worth our support. Or our family members may know that neither one of these candidates are worth our support. Or the people at the church might know that neither one of these candidates are worth our support. What about that? Couldn't that be, President Obama or former President Obama, this disingenuous argument that you're making, you're trying to compartmentalize us black men and put us in the same box. Us black men are not a monolith. And I think you know that. So, I mean, just to put your credibility out there like that is crazy. So, so, if we vote, we vote what we feel speaks to us and speaks to our ideals, not just because this person's supposedly black, we're gonna vote for her because she's supposedly black. And like I said, she's it's questionable if she's actually black, but we go on from that. Then he went into the argument of why would you? Let me see. What did he say about why? Part of the issue that he sees is that maybe us black men don't want to vote for a woman or put a woman in charge. Now this a little bit I can see what he's saying. I think there's a little bit of that in all the races, not just the black man, but all races across the board. You may have a little issue there within some men that they don't want to see a woman in power and this and that. Yeah, but that's across the board in all races, not just exclusive to us black men. But what else? He was talking about why would you vote for someone, meaning Donald Trump, that denigrates you and puts you down and disrespects your neighborhood and all that and this and that. Okay, well, Kamala Harris, as the San Francisco District Attorney and as the California Attorney General, she's been known to not be the best friend of black men as well. So where are we going with that argument, Mr. Obama? So I mean, it goes back and forth. And he brought up something personal too. He brought up about how women role in the black community has been huge from from history to the present day, and how they have had our back and all this, and the things they did for us, and this and blah blah and Skippy and all that. Well, yes, that's true. Black women have been very, very instrumental in the black struggle. That is absolutely true. But we're not talking about that here. We're not talking about the history of the black struggle. We're talking about being the U.S. president. We're talking about politics, two different things. You're trying to align a U.S. presidential election with the black struggle overall, with a woman that is conveniently black. That is very much a disingenuous argument, Mr. Obama, with all due respect. But anyway, with that said, I do believe that we all should vote. We all, no matter who we're voting for, we shouldn't sit out. We should vote. We should exercise our right to vote. And we should vote for someone who talks to us and talks to our politics and talks to how we feel and what we feel is relevant. So I don't think that we should sit out. But we should definitely vote. So that's one thing. But we should not be forced to vote for someone because they identify with our same race, when their policies don't seem to when their policies seem to be non-existent, or their policies seem to not benefit us. But with that said, I'm out on this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like this video, share this video, and comment on this video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. After subscribing, please click on that little notification bell in order to be notified of any new uploads. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions for future videos or future content that I could do, you can email me at provocateurjoseph@gmail.com. And with that, I am out on this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace! I'm out. One love.